Hello. In this video, we're going to go over the latest eMaint version release of 11.13. Here's a list of enhancements and bug fixes that we've released in this new version. The first thing that we have released is a brand new eMaint login page, and it was built with the intention of having a responsive design to make it easier for mobile users to be able to log in. We've also added an eMaint X4 feature, the parts checkout functionality, into MX Mobile. We've made an update to reporting in eMaint X4, where you can now choose, instead of only being able to send reports on a day-by-day basis, you can now send reports on an hourly basis. We've also made an update to our interactive maps feature, where what you can do now is you can set up filtering criteria to determine what color the pins show, so you can have a little bit of dynamic functionality out of interactive maps. We've also enabled two features that used to only work in eMaint X3, and now they are fully functional in X4. Those features are the master parts list, where what this functionality is if you are an account that has a master account associated to it, what this allows you to do is you can make a master library of inventory items that your child accounts might have. So what you can do is you can have an account with a master parts list. And then if you're on a child account, so that might be a location in Florida, and then you might have a location in California, and then a location in New York. Each one of those would be considered a child site. And what you can do is you can then pull parts from the master list and bring them into the child accounts. So you have one account that's the master, and then children accounts that can copy those parts over. And then we've also added all the material request buttons into eMaint X4. So if you're a user who utilizes the material request feature, which this is a feature to request parts, then you can now use this full functionality in eMaint X4. If you're interested in those two features, the master parts list as well as material request, feel free to go into our help center for more information. This is a list of the bug fixes that we've added in this version release. There was an issue when trying to sign on to work orders from the dashboard that has now been corrected. There's been a few various speed performance improvements that have been made to X4 to make the system a little bit quicker. Whenever you're exporting out data into an Excel file, you can see that sometimes that the table cells were not rendering the grid lines properly, and that has now been corrected. There was an issue at times with mass generating PMs manually, and that has now been corrected. We've also specifically, and this is for accounts, depending if you're using single inventory or multi-location inventory. Before, if you were using single or multi, it didn't matter which type of inventory you used in your account. You would still see the option that you had to pick which location you wanted to import the parts into. Now, this is important when you're using multi-inventory location to state which location is going to have a specific amount on hand. But if you're using a single inventory location account, this information isn't relevant, and it's an additional step to have to go through to add your parts. So now we've added that whenever you're a single inventory location account, you do not have to pick a location at all. All parts will go into the main location, since that's the single and only location the account should use. And then the last update we made was based on accounts using the accounting method for average weighted costs. And there was an issue we noticed that when you were doing a purchase order receipt edit to the costs, that the value was not updating in the history. So we've now made an improvement to now allow that to occur. So now that we've gone over quickly what some of those feature enhancements and bug fixes are, we're going to go ahead and show you real quick some of those enhancements. So the first one I'll show everyone is our new login screen with updated branding and a more responsive design. So we're going to go ahead and log into the account. And once we've logged in, the first thing we're going to show you is in MX Mobile, the parts checkout functionality. So what we can do is we can come up here to main menu. We're going to go up here to Data Center and eMaint MX Mobile to give you a look. And what we're going to do is go to Menu and then Parts. From the Parts screen, you'll be able to see here on the bottom, we've added the option for Parts Checkout. And if we click on that, if you're on a multi-inventory location account like I'm in now, you will first have to select the inventory location. If you are on single inventory location, you will not have to pick the location. So once I pick the main location, then you can go ahead and start scanning your barcode. So for example, if I scan 1000, then I'll go ahead and scan the part. Do 1,000 again, you'll see that the checkout quantity has increased from 1 to 2. Do it again, the checkout quantity increases from 2 to 3. If I do a different item number, you'll see a new line item is added. And then what you can do is if you want to relate this to a work order, you can fill in the work order number here, or you can fill in different work order numbers for individual lines. When you're scanning these parts, you can see how many you have on hand for that location. And if you switch the location, you'll actually see how many is on hand for these different locations. There we go. And then you can go ahead and check out parts. And you can even download a report after checking out the parts. Once that's done, you'll see that your transactions have been saved. So that's a quicker way to check out multiple parts in the system using MX Mobile. The next thing I want to show you is our updated report generation. So if we go into the report section, so I'm going to come up here to the top left and go to reports on the tab up here. I'm going to go into one of these reports. And what you'll notice is if we edit this report, we've added a new functionality into the frequency types. So before we used to have the option that when you had a report automatically generate, you could pick that it would generate on a days, weeks, or month frequency. But now you can generate reports on an hourly basis if you'd like. So if you need a report once an hour, if you need a report, let's say every shift, and you have 3 shifts, so you might need an 8-hour report, you can have the system do that. And what we'll do is it'll generate a report on an hourly basis instead of just a daily basis. The last feature I want to show everybody is the interactive maps pin colors. So if I go up here to interactive plans, I'm going to go to one of my plans here called ground floor. And what you'll notice is up here, I have these 2 different colored pins. So I have this green one here that's showing truck number 10, and I have this red one here showing truck number 1. And you can see these pins are different colors. So just to let you know that these different colors are, or these colors are not different, just because I specifically picked one was green and one was red. They're different colors because of a filter we've added to this map. So if we go to actions and we go to edit this interactive plan details, you'll see that we have this brand new section here on the bottom. And this is to allow you to set up conditions that would let you choose specifically what color should a pin be. And what you can see here is that we specified that we would use a custom colored pin marker right here. And that here on the left is the condition. And based on the condition, you would then pick a pin color, such as red or green. You can see here, I have a filter for a field on my asset table. So that's what comp info is. And then the field on the asset table is called WO open. So it's table.field is greater than the number 0. So I have a field on my specific asset that tells me how many work orders are currently open for that asset. So what I have is if I do have more than 1 work order open for that asset, I want my pin to be red. So that way I know this is an asset that needs maintenance performed on it and that I need work to be done. So that's why I have it in red. So that's why this number has to be greater than 0. But if the work order is equal to or less than 0, so if I don't have any work orders open for that specific asset, I want it to show green, that it's fully functional, it's running, and no maintenance is required. And you can add additional filters for your conditions just by hitting add new condition to add a new line here. Or you can hit the X next to that specific item to remove that condition. So this was newly added to interactive plans. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, everybody.